Duke Eclipse presents the Horror Hideout Podcast, a podcast covering everything horror, including books, comics, and movies. Presented by Dawson Duke and Kayla Bullock.
So, welcome back to Horror Hideout. This episode is going to be covering some of our favorite movies. I do have to say that one of the movies on my list I would not call one of my favorite movies, but it freaked me out so bad, and it's a movie I'll never watch again. So, I'm going to start by saying The Menu, Final Girls, and Trick or Treat, that we've already done episodes on, are three of my top movies. Final Girls is kind of my go-to movie. Trick or Treat is my go-to Halloween movie. So those are on my list, but I'm not going to talk too much about them because we've done episodes.
Well, and I'll say The Dead Don't Die, Mad God, and Mayhem are three of my favorites.
I forgot about Mayhem. Mayhem's a good one too.
Yeah, but I'm also not going to talk about those too much because we already did full episodes on them.
Right.
And I will preface this by saying, just because we talk about something in this episode doesn't mean we won't make a full episode on it later.
Right.
This is just kind of almost like a year in review kind of thing.
Right.
It's just kind of like what's our favorites right now, and so we're gonna try to do this yearly, book and movie as two separate ones, and just kind of see how our tastes have changed, if they've changed, what new things may have come out the previous year, or that we've just discovered in the previous year that have caught our attention.
Right. Which, since I know we're going to be doing this, I'll keep a better list on movies. I have Goodreads that I can for my books, but I didn't really. So,
is there like a database like that for movies?
I don't know about rating them. I have one. Well, I have one where I have all of our movies scanned in that we own, and I can rate them on there.
Yeah.
But I don't know about anything like Goodreads for movies. I wish there was. Somebody create that and let us know. Well, we get royalties because it was our idea.
Good cinema.
There you go. Okay, so I want to get this one out of the way because this is the one they said is not a favorite of mine. But if you want to talk about the scariest movie I think I've ever seen, I'm going to mention this one. It's called The Possession of Michael King, and I watched it 15 years ago.
Oh, and one more thing, not to interrupt you, but one more thing. We're probably going to talk about movies that the other hasn't seen. Like, I have not seen this movie.
Don't watch it.
I'll probably at some point.
Okay. Is that all you were going to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted to clarify that.
So, The Possession of Michael King. I used to work at a video store. Who remembers video stores? Because, I'm old. But,
you can say Family Video. We're not going to get in trouble.
I used to work at Family Video, and new movies would come out on Tuesdays, but we would get them on Thursday. So, over the weekend, we could take movies home before they came out. And I was the horror movie girl, and I took all the horror movies home. So, that's the only reason I ever saw this movie. And again, The Possession of Michael King.
So do you know when it came out?
It would have been 2010-ish. And I don't remember a whole lot about it, but I do remember that I believe he was a minister, and his wife dies. And so he has lost his faith, and he has decided that you can't prove God is real, but you can prove that evil is real. And so he goes to all of these different preachers and ministers and priests and everything in all these different religions trying to get possessed by a demon. And he gets possessed by a host of them. And that movie, I believe in demon possession. You know that. Like, demon possessions always freak me out. But this one scared the heck out of me, and I will never watch it again because it was so scary.
And what's crazy about that is, like, I've never seen it. You're the only person I've ever heard mention it. I've never heard it anywhere else.
I think it was like I want to say we had one copy of it. Like, it was,
so
just...
Do you think it was more of an underground movie?
Probably.
Like, maybe even an indie one?
Probably. But yeah.
This is not related to what we're talking about, but you want to know a fun fact? You know how Blair Witch was like the highest grossing independent film of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what the film before it was?
What?
TMNT, the original 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. No studio would pick it up, so technically it was an independent film.
Jeez.
Which is crazy because that movie is so. I mean, not that the Blair Witch is bad, but the Blair Witch is like was made in the woods with like a camcorder.
Yeah. So I was wrong. This one was 2014, so that would be right. That was when I worked at Family Video.
Well, yeah, because I was gonna say that 2010, we weren't
in this area.
Yeah. Because we moved here when I was in 3rd grade, and I would have been in like 1st grade in 2010.
Yeah, so I'm sorry I got that wrong. That's right, because we moved in 2011. So 2014, The Possession of Michael King. If you believe in demon possession and you want to be scared out of your pants, I suggest you watch it. Like I said, it really bothered me, and it's been 10 years, and I still think about that movie. Whenever anybody asks me the scariest movie I've ever watched, that one pops in my head. I don't understand how you could go out and want to get possessed by evil.
I don't know. I don't remember, because we watched it together, and I don't remember your opinion on this film, but one of the ones that's up there for me is Parasite, the Korean film.
Yes.
Where the family, like, slowly takes over the lives of, like, the rich family.
Yes. And that's the one with the guy in the basement, right?
Yes.
Yes. That was a good one.
Yes. I couldn't remember if you liked it or not.
Yeah, that was
I knew
a
it was
good
on
one.
your 100 movies to watch before you die poster.
Yeah. So, that was a good one.
Yeah. So, I basically just kind of told you what happens in that movie there, but, essentially, in Korea, there's a lot of poverty and, like, famine-type situations. And so it's about this family that lives in, like, essentially a basement together. And I think...
Not a good area, and,
Yeah.
like, it floods in their windows when it rains.
I think it's a teen girl and boy, and then their mom and dad, and that's it. There's just the 4 of them. And the mom ends up getting...
I thought the dad got hired first as their chauffeur.
Yes, the dad gets hired as a chauffeur. They basically... I don't remember exactly how. They end up getting the maid framed to where she gets fired.
Uh-huh.
So the mom comes in as that. And then the daughter needs a tutor. So they convince the rich family to hire...
Maybe the tutor's first. Maybe the daughter comes in as the tutor first.
I think you're right. But anyway, they basically convince the family to hire them at different roles.
What does the son do? Do you remember? I can't remember.
I
We've
don't
only
remember.
seen it once.
Yeah, and like we said, it's a Korean film, so it was a subtitled movie, and we've only seen it once. And it was probably a year ago.
Oh gosh, probably longer than that.
2 years.
Couple of years.
Yeah,
a couple of years.
But that movie always stuck with me, and the name Parasite is a good explanation of how the family kind of is in the movie. But you also, I think the reason it stuck with you so much is because you understand why the family is doing it. Because they're in such a bad situation that you can relate to them. Like, you understand.
Then they end up wanting to take over the rich people's lives. Like, they don't just want to be
but you can
their workers anymore.
But in my opinion, not that I think, like, we would do that, but you can understand why they're at that point is what I'm saying.
Right, yeah, for sure.
And that's all I'd say, because I don't want to spoil it. I want, if it sounds interesting to you, I want people to go watch it.
And I kind of think me and you went into it without an idea of what we were watching.
I don't even know if we really knew it was a horror movie. I
think we did, because I don't think I would have picked it if I didn't. But by the name of it, I don't think I had any idea what it was really about.
Because it was on your 100 movie poster. That's why we watched it.
Oh.
And you said, I've never heard of it. You said, I think I've heard of every movie on here except this one. And so we ended up watching it. And I mean, I guess from the name, you can probably assume it's some kind of horror movie.
Yeah.
But me and you had no idea what it was going into. We hadn't seen any previews or had never heard anything about it or anything.
And it's not what you think of when you think of Parasite. Like,
no.
It's not at all.
But I think we later looked it up, and it actually is, like, a pretty known movie. Like, it's not indie or anything.
Well,
it's a pretty known
obviously
movie.
for it to be on there, but...
Yeah, but that poster's 100 movies to watch before you die. That doesn't necessarily mean they're all famous movies.
That's true. Um, so the next one I want to talk about, and Dawson and I have kind of talked about whether or not this one is horror, but I think it is
Like we've said before, horror is subjective.
the um, Phantom of the Opera with Gerard
Phantom of the
Butler.
Opera is 100% horror. I don't know why people say it isn't. Just because it's a musical doesn't mean it's not horror.
It is I don't remember what year it was published in, but it's got Gerard Butler and Emmy Rossum in it.
So not like the 1932 or whatever one that came
No,
out. The newer one.
I mean, it was probably it was in the 2000s.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of musicals. I will throw that out there right now. They're just not my favorite. I don't have a problem with them. If you like them, that's great. But I have a hard time with more than one person singing at the same time. If they're singing like, not if it's a song, but like, there's parts in the movie where Christine and then Meg and then the Phantom and they're all kind of singing at the same time, and I have a hard time with that. So I'm thankful there's not more of that in this movie. If you don't know the story of the Phantom of the Opera, he lives in an opera house where she is a student, and he tutors her,
and it almost, and I wonder if there's some basis there, but it puts you in the mind of Two-Face, where half of his face is messed up.
Yeah, and he falls in love with her, with Christine, and she thinks that he's the angel of her father.
Yeah.
But then
his is romantic love. Hers is like parental.
Right.
Or
and
like
so
child. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know when it's the reverse what it's called.
Yeah.
Paternal?
Family love.
Familial.
But when she falls in love with Raoul, the Phantom just kind of loses his mind and just turns into this evil guy. And there are parts in the movie where your heart just breaks for him too, because he's never had anybody love him, and he's never had.
But it's almost one of the oldest tales of like grooming and like child manipulation.
Yeah.
Because he was an adult by the time, like when she was a child in there, he was an adult.
Yeah.
And so it's there are vibes of that in there.
Yeah.
And like a almost Stockholm syndrome.
And Andrew Lloyd Webber is involved in the movie, and they wanted to cast somebody that was like 35 for the role of Christine, and he said, if you're going to do that, you can just not make this movie, because we're not doing that, because she's not 35, like she's a young girl. And
I don't think, obviously from that, I don't think the weight of what was happening was lost on the people making the movie.
Right.
I think you're supposed to not. I think you're supposed to understand the
dynamic of their relationship.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say the uncomfortable nature of the Phantom's infatuation.
Right.
Like it's not. Like you said, he can be sympathetic, but it's not like he's not a good guy.
Right.
In no way is he the hero of the story.
Which breaks my heart, because I love the Phantom.
Yeah, but he's still...
I know, he's not a nice person.
Yeah.
But I think it's also cool that you see kind of his backstory, like his childhood and why he ended up there.
It almost makes me think of Lolita. I don't think you've seen that or read the book, have you? The whole book of Lolita, I don't even know if that'd be considered horror, but I would consider that horror. Even though it's not really what you would think of. It's the story of a man who falls in love with a child, essentially. He marries a woman because he falls in love with the woman's daughter.
No, thank you.
Yeah, and so what ends up happening is, the book is written as like a diary he's keeping, and he his wife that he married to get to the daughter finds what he's writing and realizes what's going on, so he kills her and then like basically kidnaps the daughter and acts like it's his daughter so that he can like,
oh my gosh,
run away with her.
No, thank you. So
but
that
it almost puts you in the mind of that.
Yeah. So
it's not that extreme, but it's similar.
And I haven't seen the older versions of Phantom of the Opera. I don't know if you have. I have
I have not.
not. So I can't say anything about the older versions.
Yeah.
I just know this one is beautifully done. The acting is phenomenal, and the story just kind of pulls you in from
And
the
the
beginning.
way, so in this movie, in a lot of movies, even TV shows do this. Sometimes, whenever there's a flashback, it'll go into black and white.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie does the opposite. It's when it's modern times, and we're like where we start the movie, modern times, it's black and white, and then when we go back, we see the world full of color.
Right, and it's just beautifully done. I mean, it's just a beautiful movie.
It almost puts you in the mind of Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, yeah. So definitely top of my list. It's one of my favorites. It's actually one of the few movies I went to see twice when it was in theaters. Yeah. So you're up.
I had one, and then I got to talking. I guess I can. This is complete 180. But I guess I can bring up Ghost Shark. And in that vein, like Age of Dinosaurs and movies like that.
Oh my gosh.
Um,
Forgot about Age of Dinosaurs.
Age of Dinosaurs I don't nearly like as much as Ghost Shark. Age of Dinosaurs I saw once, and I don't know, unless I show it to someone else, just be like, hey, look at this movie. I don't know if I'll ever watch it again.
Is that the one with the fire extinguisher?
Yes.
That's
Not extinguisher. It's an axe.
Is it? I thought it
Yes.
was extinguisher. That's the only part of that movie I remember because it was so cheesy.
He might use a fire extinguisher at one point. But the whole thing is, he finds a fire axe on a wall, and he's a firefighter. And everyone treats him like, this is Age of Dinosaurs, not Ghost Shark. Everyone treats him like he's, like, FBI. Like, so basically, it's a Jurassic Park ripoff, essentially. This guy,
Very pathetic ripoff.
Yeah, the CGI in this movie is terrible. Like, worse than The Rock and Scorpion King terrible. But basically, this rich guy decides, oh, I'm going to clone dinosaurs. And I think the whole thing, the reason they started is they were trying to figure out how to cure diseases. And they're like, so instead of starting with humans, we started by trying to make dinosaurs from scratch. Because I'm pretty sure the company that's doing it, their whole thing is they're trying to find a cure for cancer. So it's kind of like out of left, if I remember right. So it's kind of like out of left field. But basically they unveiled that they've created dinosaurs, and what a surprise, they escape. But the main guy in it, is a firefighter, and there's like, the police will like cordon off an area because the velociraptors got it, and he comes up and he goes, I'm a firefighter, and flashes his badge, and they let him through like he's like FBI or something.
Right.
Like, they treat him like he's like really high up. Like the cops treat him like he's higher up in the hierarchy than they are.
Right.
And so he ends up like having to fight the velociraptors and stuff, and his daughter's involved in the movie.
We laughed so hard at this movie.
This movie is hilarious the first time you watch it, but on any rewatch, it's kind of boring. It's not my favorite to rewatch. Like Ghost Shark, I could watch a million times and still love, but this Age of Dinosaurs is not as great on subsequent watches. But basically, the fire axe thing, he finds a fire axe, and he like gets one of the velociraptors stuck in an elevator, and there's like oxygen tanks or something in it. He throws a fire axe into the oxygen tank, or I think it's to cut the cable of the elevator or something.
Yeah.
So the elevator falls and explodes, and then he turns a corner and rips another fire axe off the wall. So we had an inside joke for a long time that he just had the superpower to find a fire axe at any time.
Right, because they're just hanging on the walls everywhere.
So anyway,
that was not what Dawson was going to talk about, but
it is in the same vein though as Ghost Shark. So Ghost Shark is a movie where at the very beginning these people kill a shark, and then we see it like wounded swim into a cave, and we see some like ruins on the wall glow, and it brings the shark back to life as like a ghost.
Which I just want to say, if you listen to our favorite book episode, Dawson talks about how B horror books could not be on his list. Here's a B horror movie that's on his list, and it's one of his favorites. So
movies are different to me than books. I feel like books affect me a lot more than movies most of the time. There's a few instances where they don't. Like the Long Walk movie hit me so much harder than the book.
Yeah.
I don't think the book could have ever hit me that hard.
Yeah.
But anyway, we talked about this in the book episode too. The how comedy and horror oftentimes can overlap, and that's okay. And so in this case, uh, it's such an absurd thing to have a ghost shark.
This is one of the most ridiculous, over the top,
Yeah.
craziest
And
horror movies I've ever seen, and we both love it.
the acting's not great. The CGI is not. It's not the worst It's not as bad as Age of Dinosaurs. It's not the
even
worst.
close.
It's not the worst I've seen, but it's also not great.
Yeah,
Um, and I don't remember for sure, but I'm pretty sure this is a sci-fi original.
I think
Which-
so. I think you're right.
There's a lot of sci-fi.
Because I
original
remember
shark
us talking
movies.
about that. Papa would have liked that one.
Yeah. Um. So, anyway, in that movie, like I said, I love whenever there's a goofy horror concept that can also be played off as horror. And even though this movie is like kind of stupid, first of all, the characters act well enough that you actually do get attached to the characters. Like you feel for them in the situations they're in. And the concept of the ghost shark is so cool because it's not just like, oh, there's a ghost shark in the ocean. It can go into any body of water that's in the town they're in. So, like, at one point, it attacks a swimming pool party. There's kids playing with a fire hydrant, like water spraying out of a fire hydrant, and the shark just comes along and eats all of them.
I think that was like the worst CGI. Didn't it come out of the fire
Yes.
hydrant?
Yeah.
And I think that was like the worst CGI in the whole
And
movie.
then, one of my favorite parts in the whole movie, and we're gonna slip in that joke we say all the time.
Yes.
There's a part where they're at the police station discussing what to do about this shark and whether or not they believe it's real. And, like, I think it's the assistant, or maybe it's, like, the mayor or something, but it's, like, the assistant to the mayor or, like, the assistant to the police chief or something goes over to the water, what are those called?
Fountain cooler.
Cooler. Goes over to the water cooler, pours himself a glass of water, drinks it, and then is holding his stomach and is like, oh, my stomach hurts. And then gets split in half as the shark breaks out of him.
So we have always said there needs to be a ghost shark too.
I have.
And I agreed with you.
But I said I can't wait for Ghost Shark 2 Return of the Cup.
And that is the funniest thing I think Dawson's ever said.
To the point, back when I was making Lego stop motion movies on my YouTube channel, I considered making a Ghost Shark 2 Return of the Cup stop motion movie as a joke because I had the like Arctic White Lego shark. So anyway, back to you, Mom.
Oh, my turn again?
Yeah. I'm sure we're gonna probably go back onto a more serious note.
Probably, yeah. So, you threw me off because I love
Sorry.
Ghost Shark.
Well, okay. If you're still thinking for a
no,
minute,
I got a list.
Okay.
List.
I was just gonna say if you're still thinking, I could say a few more movie. I could just start listing off some more some more shark movies I really like.
Trailer Park Shark with Mr. Belding.
Yes, I love Trailer Park Shark.
That is a dorky one. What's her name? Is it Tara Reid that gets eaten by a shark in that one?
There's so many shark movies I get some mixed up in my head. Mississippi River Sharks is another one of my favorites.
Wait, is that the one with Belding?
No.
Or Trailer Park?
Trailer Park Shark is the one. And Trailer Park Shark is the one with the electric shark.
Yeah. But is that the one with Mr. Belding?
Yes. He's like the mayor of the town, and
he tries to have a southern... Mr. Belding from Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
He tries to have a cowboy accent.
Yeah, that's what we know him from. He's probably in other stuff too. I'm sure that's probably his most well-known role.
Yeah.
But there's also like Mississippi River Shark, where the girl is like in college for chemistry, so she knows how to make pipe bombs out of nowhere, and that's how they end up blowing up the sharks at the end. And that was Mississippi River Sharks. There's also like Ozark Sharks, where there's that dude with just like the shed full of like all kinds of weapons, like the custom-made katana that has like 2 blades.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And they put a shark through the wood chipper.
Yes. So kind of in the same vein as goofy scary movies, but this one's a good one. Zombieland is always going to be one of my top movies. I love Zombieland.
Can I interject for a second?
Yeah.
I have to be honest here. I do like that movie too. I think I like The Dead Don't Die better.
No, I think I like Zombieland.
I mean, that's fine. I did not like Zombieland Double Tap.
It's okay. It's not nearly caliber of Zombieland,
Yeah.
but I love the characters in Zombieland. If you haven't seen Zombieland, where have you been? But Jesse Eisenberg plays the main character, and then we've got Abigail Breslin's in it. Emma Stone, Woody Harrelson, and Jesse
If
Eisenberg's character is just like this recluse who doesn't have any friends and his family's not nearby, and he survives the zombie apocalypse.
not not in the first movie, obviously, but Abigail Breslin is like my biggest celebrity crush. That is Little Rock, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, most horror fans, I'm sure, have seen Zombieland, but I just, yes, it's a zombie movie. Yes, it's gory, but some like the zombie kill of the week, where the sister, whatever her name is, drops the piano on a zombie. I love that part. That's so funny. Tallahassee is hilarious, and then their rules.
I take it back. I think I do like this one better than The Dead Don't Die. There is another zombie media I like better than Zombieland, though. Anyway.
um their rules, just like things like enjoy the little things. Like we all need a reminder every day to enjoy the little things. So,
I
and I think a big part for me is watching the relationships, like,
yeah.
because Tallahassee does not like Little Rock. She
Well,
thinks she's an annoying kid, and then they end up, and then of course you got Bill Murray in there, so you can't go wrong with Bill Murray.
I think that's why I did not like the second one, because the second one just felt like retreading old ground. It just felt like the first one over again with the whole thing is them like developing their relationships. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I didn't like that new girl they introduced.
Yeah, she was annoying.
Yeah, I didn't like
I think
her.
she was supposed to be, but
Yeah,
that doesn't
I'm sure she was, but
making a character annoying does not make them endearing. Just
right.
because you know they're annoying doesn't mean that they're endearing. It means that it means that you find them annoying, which means we're gonna find them more annoying.
I think they kind of try to make her like kind of like a girl version of Jesse. What's his name? Jesse Eisenberg's
Columbus.
character. Okay, so I kind of feel like they try to make her.
I don't even necessarily think that. She feels like a comic relief character in a comedy movie where all the actors are already comedic characters.
Well, I just think that, like, and I'm not saying she's like the nerdy stay at home type, but like they kind of on the flip side of that, she's another one you wouldn't think would survive the
Yeah.
zombie apocalypse. So it was just, but anyway, I love Zombieland. It's probably my favorite zombie movie.
So on that note, have you seen any of Z Nation?
No,
So
I know you talked about it.
yes. So first of all, let me say this: Z Nation and Black Summer are two entirely different shows. I love both of them for different reasons. Um, Black Summer is genuinely scary and has some of the coolest uh, cinematography I've ever seen in anything zombie related. Like, one of my favorite things is they switch and follow different characters. So you'll be following this character for a while, and then it goes back and shows you other characters' points of view, so you kind of get the whole story. So like in the first episode, you get like you see this girl laying on the ground and she like coughs up blood, and then later we go back and follow her as the guy she's with leaves her, and then we see her come back as a zombie and follow her as a zombie as she goes and attacks his house. And I don't know if I've ever seen such a cool like zombie POV in quote unquote like scene where it just follows her for a bit. And then on the flip side we have Z Nation, and I said that I did think that The Dead Don't Die was not as good as Zombieland. I mostly said that because I think it could have been, but I feel like there were too many plot threads that were left open in The Dead Don't Die. By that I mostly mean the kids. They kind of just disappear to the woods. But
I just thought the whole alien part was just weird.
yeah, that was kind of out of nowhere, and it's not really explained or anything. But Z Nation, it's literally like if you made Zombieland into a TV show. It's like they captured the lightning in the bottle of Zombieland, at least for the first season. The first season is so good. And I don't necessarily think the later seasons are terrible, but I don't think they're nearly as good. And you said you haven't seen anything Z Nation. There's a zombie bear. There's zombie rats. And it feels very And Garth is like Garth from Supernatural.
Uh-huh.
He is Citizen Z, who does the he does like a radio broadcast from up in like Antarctica.
Is it DJ Smalls? DJ.
Like his real name,
Uh-huh.
I have no idea. But I love his character in that show, and his whole thing is he's isolated up there by himself. He was at a military base, and then like we later go back and see that he actually was not even like military. He was basically just like he was a young guy that hacked into something he wasn't supposed to, and they tracked him down and said, "Hey, we're either going to put you in prison for a long time, or you can work for us." And so they basically like force him into it, and then we follow him, and we don't learn that until like a way later season, so that's like big spoilers. But we we basically don't learn that until later, and they kind of do that with every character where we just so Z Nation takes place like the beginning scene takes place like right after the apocalypse happens, but the whole thing basically takes place. No, the beginning scene doesn't even. It's like 3 years after the apocalypse started, so things like already have happened, and they reference Black Summer having happened, which is why they went back and made that prequel series. But like I said, they're completely different feels. Like Z Nation is 100% like a comedy show. Not that it's necessarily comedy first, because there is very horrific moments in it and things, but it is a very comedic show. Whereas Black Monday is a lot more horror driven and
Black Summer.
Black Summer, Black. I do that all the time, and it's because of the Black Monday murder comic series I read. I don't know why, but I get that in Black Summer mixed up in my head. Not just the names, like not the actual contents of them, but just the names. I get those mixed up in my head all the time. Anyway, I think that's about all I had to say about Z Nation. Is just so fun, and like I play D&D all the time. The zombie apocalypse campaign I'm running for my group right now is based off of Z Nation. I took a lot of concepts from it for my campaign because with my group I know it's never going to be serious.
So, yeah. So the next one on my list is weapons.
Yeah. See, and that is what this last time I went and watched Black Summer. That's what prompted me to rewatch the first season was weapons.
If you haven't I'm not going to go too much into weapons because it's so new. I mean, I think it's still in theaters maybe, but if you
Probably not by the time this episode comes out.
Well, maybe. If you have not seen Weapons, it's about a third grade class with 18 students, and 17 of them walk out of their house at 2 a.m. one morning and just disappear. And so, kind of like what you were talking about with the different points of view.
That's what I was going to say.
We follow the teacher, but then we also will go back and we'll follow the police officer, and then you follow the little boy who didn't disappear. And it's kind of like all of their interconnecting stories coming together at one point.
I love non-linear storytelling like that, like where it goes back and shows us how everyone got to that point.
If it's done well, and I think Weapons was done very, very well.
It can be very confusing. Like some of the later Saw movies, you have sometimes in later Saw movies, it's hard to differentiate. Is this a flashback? Is this not a flashback? One of the Saw movies has a flashback within a flashback.
Oh, Lord.
And sometimes it gets to the point where it's like, okay, what is even happening? But in Weapons and Black Summer, both, it is done very well. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I knew you'd seen this one.
I feel like I keep interrupting you. No, I'm not intending
you're
to.
You're fine. We're having a conversation about movies. But I feel like Weapons was pretty serious and it was pretty heavy, and there were some scary parts to it. But then the part of the end, which I'm not going to give away, but everybody in that theater was laughing.
I don't know if I can say this without spoiling stuff.
Don't say it then. Just because it's so new, I don't want to put that out there.
Well, I was just going to say it reminded me of something else.
Yeah, let's not do that if you think it would be a spoiler. But definitely put this on your to-watch list.
I will say they're making a movie of the thing I'm talking about. I'm trying to clue you into on what it is.
I don't know.
Should I just say it?
Yeah.
The Institute by Stephen King.
Oh, they're making a TV series of it. They already did.
Oh, I thought they were coming out with a movie.
I don't know. Brian at work told me that him and his wife have watched season 1 already.
Oh, I don't know. That could be right. I don't know.
Um. So yeah, like I said, I don't want to give anything away with weapons, but check it out. It's really, really well done. The way they filmed it is cool. And I really like the actors in it too.
You're right. It's an 8-episode TV series.
And he said there's gonna be a season 2.
And didn't you tell me the first season is just the book, so the second season is going to be original stuff?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I remember you telling me that now.
Yeah. So,
What what new Stephen King one is coming out? Not the Long Walk. I thought there was another one coming out.
well, the monkey came out.
Oh, they're coming out with a Black Phone too. That's what I was thinking of,
Yeah,
because that
and
was written
they're
by his son.
yeah, and they're doing a
Not the Black Phone too. I he probably helped write the movie, but the original Black Phone was written by Stephen. The original story that the Black Phone movie was based off of was written by Stephen King's son.
um. They're also doing that Welcome to Derry. That's a It prequel,
I didn't hear about that.
which I know it. We just talked about one that was on my list, but the new It is actually on my list. The
Part 1 or part 2 or
part
both?
1.
I was gonna say I really like part 1. I felt like part 2 was weaker, but I don't know if that's just because it's them as adults.
Well, they were adults in the first one, weren't they? For part of it.
It's been so long since I saw that. I don't know. I don't maybe I don't remember why I thought part 2 was weaker. I thought part 2 was weaker.
Well, I'm going to throw this out there, and you know this, but James McAvoy, I am a huge fan
Yeah.
of James McAvoy. He's actually
Is Split on your list?
Split is on my list.
It's on my list
And
too.
Speak No Evil is on my list. I love James McAvoy. I think that man could act whatever he wanted to be and convince anybody that he's anything. He's really great. But so I think the casting in it was really good. I think Pennywise, Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise,
Yeah.
was phenomenal.
I
Um,
not to get people in the comments mad or anything. I think his Pennywise is scarier than the miniseries one.
I do too. I really do.
What's his? Who's the miniseries one?
Oh, he's in Home Alone. Tim Curry.
That's what it. I knew it started with a T.
But yeah, I just think that the new It was so well done, and it's tense and it's scary, and I don't do aliens. They're not my thing, but for an alien movie, it was so well done.
This is unreal. Wasn't Tim Curry in the Clue movie as like the butler?
Yes.
Sorry, I was just thinking about that.
No, but he was also in Home Alone.
No, I know he's in the second one. He's the guy at the hotel.
Yeah, that the mom slaps. Do wear your coat. It's cold outside.
You mean where Kevin McAllister met
Donald Trump.
Mhm. I was gonna say that orange guy.
So yeah, definitely the newer It is on my list. I really don't know what else to say about it because it's one that would have to have its own episode because there's so much that happens in this story. And I know we're not talking about books this episode, but I do have to say there's some parts they left out of the movie that were in the book, but it's okay that they left them out because of what they were about. But as far as a representation of the book,
a lot of Stephen King's works have weird sexual stuff in it.
yeah. So as a representation of the book, they did a fantastic job in this movie. So put it on your to watch list if you haven't seen it.
I'm glad. Spoilers, I guess, not really. I'm glad they cut that stuff out from the Long Walk movie. They include some of the stuff that happens in the book.
Yeah.
Because I think it makes it a lot better.
Yeah. It would have been uncomfortable, some of that stuff
Yeah.
you were talking about.
Well, I know we plan on making a separate episode on the Long Walk, but that movie is just so ingrained in my head right now.
Yeah.
And
I've never been in a theater and watched a movie where I turned my head so much.
I don't say this very often, but I think that the Long Walk movie was leagues better than the book. And the book wasn't necessarily bad, but I feel like the message of the book is it's almost a coming of age story. It's kind of the loss of innocence and discovering who you are almost, and it's kind of the exploration of like a lot of people feel lost when they graduate high school or they get out of college and they're a young person going out into the world and they're supposed to like you have to pick the career that you're going to be in for the rest of your life now. So if there was a way out that even though it might be terrible and stressful in the moment, if for the rest of your life, I mean either way, for the rest of your life, you don't have to worry about what you're going to do.
Right.
If you die or if you win, you're not going to have to worry about what you do.
Right. Right.
So I can see where the appeal comes from, but the movie has so much deeper themes and feelings to it, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Well, I just want to throw this out there too on that one. You even said when we were going over there to see it that you were worried about how they would portray it because so much of the book takes place in Garrity's mind.
Yes.
And so for you to sit here and say how awesome it was, like I'm so glad that
Yeah.
it wasn't a disappointment for you.
Well, and it's almost like I'm kind of going into another one that's on my list. It's like Coraline. Have you ever read the Coraline book?
No.
So
you know I'm not a fan of Coraline, so.
I know, but I just didn't know if you read the book. In the Coraline book, there's quite a few differences from the movie, and that movie is like
freaking scary.
Yeah, and that movie is in like my top 3 favorite movies of all time. Genuine, not just scary, like genuinely top 3 movies of all time. I love that movie. I adore that movie. But the book is leagues better.
Really?
Yes, and it's not even that different.
But you said Wybie's not in the book,
yes,
right?
And that's what I was gonna say. The way that they did, the way that they took Coraline from being about a lonely girl that's in her head a lot and transferred it into the movie is there's conversations she has a lot with herself in her head where she like kind of argues with herself and tries to figure stuff out by herself. They introduced Wybie to be a sounding board for her to bounce stuff off of, and so even like at the end when he comes in and saves her, that's like the one significant thing he does in the movie. The rest of the movie, like he's in a few scenes here and there, but he doesn't really do anything. He does not have he's kind of a one-dimensional character. He doesn't really have much to him. He's just kind of there, and I mean basically the summary of his character is he's an awkward boy.
Yeah.
And the reason his character feels so flat is like I said, he's basically just a cardboard cutout for Coraline to talk to so we can hear her thoughts without being in her head.
Yeah.
And I think that was a good way to do it, but the book without him having there, you feel that loneliness of there's no one her age, there's so much more. Cuz there's just adults around her.
Right.
And like Miss Forcible and Spink are so old, and really her only companion that can anyway relate to her is the cat. And even then the cat is this, I don't know if smug is the right word, but this smug creature that can walk between the two worlds uninhibited.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Coraline's not on my list. It's just not my. I honestly think the reason I don't like it very well is because the button eyes freak me out, and I hate the part where Wybie has his mouth sewn shut.
Well, and I think there is so much artistry in that movie. Anything that Leica, I was thinking Aardman, but that's who did like Shaun the Sheep and stuff. Anything that Leica has done, I have absolutely adored. They put so much time and detail into their figures and the backgrounds and everything. Even like whenever they bring out the Welcome Home cake, the O on home has a double loop, which is a sign of dishonesty. So she's welcome there, but it's not home. Because the O looks different on the welcome than it does on the home. And so there's all these little details that you can watch this movie 1,000 times and notice something new every time. And there's all these theories out there on the internet about all these things in this movie because there's so much portrayed visually. But then there's parts... See, and this is why I wanted to wait and talk about this one in the movie and not just talk about it in the books. Because, like, there's parts in the movie that are so much different than the book. But really, they're the same story, and they're so close, yet they're so far apart. And they're both amazing, but there's enough differences that they do feel like separate entities. Like, I said I like the book better, but even in saying that, it might depend on the day.
Right.
They're both so good. But I do feel like there's parts... I think there's parts in the books that are genuinely scarier than the movie. Like the other father in the garden, like turning into a gourd in the movie. In the book, he basically just becomes like she finds him in like a cellar, like under the house, and he's basically like malformed into like a lump of flesh that's almost
Ew.
worm-like that comes after her,
Ew.
and she has to like rip out his eye, like
Ooh.
his butt his he has one button eye left, and she has to rip it out so that she can get away from him. And so I would say the book is so much more visceral than the movie, but the movie has such a good visual language. Sorry, that was kind of a lot.
It's okay. You don't have to apologize.
Back to you though. Back to you for the weather.
So my next one on my list is from 2009, Drag Me to Hell. Have you seen Drag Me to Hell?
I don't think so.
Um, so this one starts out in we focus on, I don't remember her name. What is her name? Uh, Christine, and she is a loan officer, and she denies this older lady a loan, like a refinancing on her mortgage or something to help her be able to keep her house. And so the lady curses her. And so the whole rest of the movie is her trying to break this curse. And it's so scary. And it's like the ending, I don't want to give it away, but the ending's like, yay, oh my gosh. Like, that's just, Um, but it's one that sticks with me. And I don't know if I don't know why, but like, she's just at work one day, and this lady comes in and she denies her loan, and this lady puts this curse on her that, and so the rest of the movie is her trying to figure out how to break this curse.
That reminds me of Thinner.
I haven't read that yet.
I think there's a movie too, but in Thinner he accidentally hits an old lady, and then she curses him. So no matter how much he eats, he can never gain weight, and he just he's just more and more losing weight. So he's like dying slowly because he can't. He's just like whittling away to nothing, but there's nothing you can do about it.
Jeez. So yeah, definitely check out Drag Me to Hell. It's a good one. I don't have a whole lot to say about it because it's been a long time since I watched it, but I remember how much I liked it.
I feel like I talk for hours, and then
Well, I can keep going.
do you want to do a couple more just so I have a minute to breathe?
Yeah. So there is a movie called Black Friday, and there's actually 3 different versions of this movie. I don't know what the years are, but there's like a 1970s one, I want to say like a 1990, late 80s or 90, and then a newer one.
Well, that's like Black Christmas, isn't there? Like
Black Christmas, that's it, not Black Friday,
okay.
Black Christmas. Thank you. Black Friday was the book we talked about.
What book?
The James Cain book.
Oh.
Black Friday. That's the one that takes place in the mall.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Black Christmas, there's 3 of them, and they're all basically, the basic story is the same. And it's about a group of sorority girls, and they start getting murdered. And I like all 3 of the movies. I own all 3 of them at Christmas time, because what else would you watch at Christmas besides horror movies? We watch all 3 of them, but the newest one is my favorite, and it's just because of the kind of the women's power, like women can do anything and stand up for yourselves, and I love the ending scene in that one. And I kind of like the reasoning behind why everything's happening. So there's 3 of them, but the newest one, check it out. It's definitely my go-to Christmas horror movie. Yeah, so. And then we're going to jump gears to more of a psychological horror called Primal Fear, and I don't think you've seen Primal Fear.
What's it about?
Well, this is an older movie, and I haven't seen it for years, but it is about a kid who is accused of murder, I think. But he's mentally challenged. But so he's in jail, or he's in prison, and so the whole story follows basically his lawyer trying to figure out who really did it, and trying to get, because they don't think he has the mental capacity to have done this horrible crime. Um, and so big spoiler alert for this movie. Watch it before I ruin it. But Dawson, I'm gonna ruin it for you though. Um, at the end of the movie, he gets found not guilty. And the whole movie, the guy in prison talks with this real slow southern accent. Like, he makes himself sound not intelligent and all of this stuff. And then at the very end of the movie, he gets acquitted of the crime. And his lawyer goes in to see him before they release him. And he's like really smart and talking in a normal voice. And it was all planned. He'd gotten away with it by pretending that he was mentally challenged, and so it is one that has stuck with me for a long, long time.
So one thing I wanted to talk about that I that are some of my favorites is I don't know how much they're really considered horror, but I consider them like starter horror movies, and this is in the same vein as Coraline. Some of my favorites are ones I watched growing up. So like Monster House.
Don't judge me as a mom for this.
Well, like
By the
Monster
way.
House, Monster House, I feel like is like a beginner horror movie, or like Coraline even is one.
I didn't like Monster House.
I don't like anything I like.
I do
Um,
too.
but like even like Igor, I know Igor isn't like it's like a creepy atmosphere. It's not really majorly horror. It's more comedy than horror. But I almost feel like it's in that same vein. And like Corpse Bride, Nightmare Before, like movies like that.
Yeah.
Um, and so some of those are some of my favorites. Along with that, I want to bring up my favorite TV show of all time, Invader Zim, because you cannot tell me that episodes like Dark Harvest are not horror,
yeah.
or even like Gergo's Crazy and stuff.
Yeah. Or even the one where he turns into the house. Like, it's not horror, but it could be kind of scary. I mean, but I think a lot of the issues, like with Monster House and Coraline, is you and your sisters, I would watch those with you guys when you were little, and I'm like, holy cow, what did I just let them watch? So I think a lot of that is still ingrained in there. Like, was I a bad mom because I let you watch Coraline so young? No, I wasn't a bad mom, but you just said yes.
No, but I was gonna say something. I also wonder if that's your dislike of us watching that kind of stuff when we were so young. I wonder if that kind of helped me get more into horror, because it's that thing where if you tell a kid no, they're gonna want to do it. So you being like, well, that wasn't my favorite, made me want to watch it more.
Right. And I tried hard not to. I mean, obviously, you guys were censored in what you watched when you were littler.
I remember I was like,
I was so ticked off when your dad let you watch Deadpool.
No, I know. I remember I was probably in like third grade, and I asked you if you could watch Spider-Man, and you said no because it was PG-13.
Yeah. So I tried.
You were pretty strict about what we watched.
I tried.
It wasn't your fault that me and Brielle stayed up every night and watched Coraline one summer because we had Netflix and it was on there.
Yeah. I don't know. That's neither here nor there. I tried to be a good mom.
Okay, so there's a couple movies I want to talk about real quick that I feel like are in the same vein. Have you seen When Evil Lurks?
Tell me what it's about.
It's almost a zombie story, where it's kind of like this disease that spreads through people, but it's actually a demonic infection.
I haven't seen that one.
It is so good. There's some very intense scenes in it. I don't want to say much more because we need to do an episode on it.
Okay.
It is so good. Probably one of the best like demonic movies I've seen.
Ooh, I don't do well with demonic movies.
Yeah, but it's not your typical demon. It's more like a zombie infection where it kind of spreads.
Okay.
The other one I wanted to talk about right now was The Sadness, and I can't remember if the When Evil Lurks. I think When Evil Lurks is in English, but The Sadness is a foreign film. And I've talked about it before. I talked about it when we did our Mayhem episode. It's the one that's essentially based off Crossed, where it's that kind of infection, but it makes you do like the worst thing that your heart desires. Uh, so like there's a scene in the movie where these kids are torturing this guy, and one of our main characters stops the kids and is like, hey, get out of here, stop doing that. And then the guy that was getting tortured is like, why'd you tell them to stop?
Oh.
Because they enjoy inflicting pain, they like seeing pain in others and even themselves. But a big part of the movie is, yes, they like inflicting pain however they can, but it takes all the joy out of it when the person they're torturing enjoys it. So that's why they keep going after people that are uninfected instead of just killing each other and dying out.
Wow. That's kind of deep.
But essentially, the movie's about this couple that got separated, that were apart whenever it happened, and they're trying to get back to each other. It's very, very good.
And which one is that?
The Sadness.
I feel like I have that as a book. Is that a book?
No.
Oh no, that's called The Cry.
But The Sadness is another one. The Sadness is another one that would be fun to do on the podcast.
So we mentioned James McAvoy, and you know I am a huge fan of his.
We should have brought up Cross when we did our books.
I can go back and put it in there.
No.
James McAvoy. First of all, I'm going to talk about Speak No Evil. I've got 2 of his, so I'm going to talk about both of them.
Speak No Evil was a remake of a foreign film, correct?
I know, yes.
I liked the original better.
Okay. So, Speak No Evil is about, it's got James McAvoy in it, and I don't remember who plays his wife. But they're on vacation, and they meet this other couple. They have a son named Ant, and they meet another couple, and the other couple has a daughter. And so they spend, like, their whole vacation together. And then James McAvoy and his wife send them an invite to come stay with them for a weekend. And so they go to stay with him, and he's not a nice guy. He's a nasty, nasty dad. He's not very nice to Aunt. And so anyway, very good story. Spoiler for it, though, because they very much Americanized the ending, and they do that with a lot of films. For example, The Eye that Jessica Alba was in.
I think
they did that with that.
I think they did that with Wreck too.
Probably.
Like the record.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
The Eye is a big one. I know that they did it too. But so in the American version of it, James McAvoy's wife ends up getting killed, and then you find out that they invite these families out to their land, and then they kill the parents and keep the kids. And so, like, Ant doesn't have a tongue, so he can't talk. So anyway, Ant ends up killing James McAvoy's character in the American one. And I love the American one because it's a good I don't really know what you classify it as, because it's not really a slasher. I don't know, but anyway, to me it's a really good horror movie. But the foreign one, which I think was a Shudder original, wasn't it?
I zoned out.
Was the original one a Shudder original? Was it on Shudder?
It may have been on Shudder. I don't know if it was a Shudder original.
So the ending of it, the storyline is basically the same, but the ending of it is completely different. And Dawson said he likes the foreign ending better. I don't think I really have a preference on the ending, because to me the ending made them 2 completely different movies. Aaron did not like the foreign ending. He hated the foreign ending. But I didn't mind it. And so basically the foreign one ends with they take the girl's parents out into the desert and stone them to death. And keep her, right? They keep the girl.
Mm-hmm.
So completely different endings between the American and the, I don't even know what country it was made in. The original one.
I don't remember.
Completely, to me, the ending made them 2 completely different movies because they're so different at the end. I think the American one was more fun as an ending because you get your revenge. I think the foreign one hit harder because of the way it ended. But again, James McAvoy is my dude, and he could act anything, and I would be okay with it. So I don't know if he wasn't in it and didn't do such a good job in there, if it would be one that I would even have on my list. You want me to keep going?
No, I have. What I want to talk about next, again, I'm going to do like a group instead of just talking about one
Well,
specific
I have
one.
one more James McAvoy one, so.
Well, you can do it next. There you go.
Okay.
Because I want to talk about the James McAvoy one you have left.
Okay. I was just making sure.
And I don't necessarily think this is a group you'll have, but there's two, and there's probably others I'm forgetting, but there's a foreign movie and two foreign shows I want to talk about that I feel like are pretty similar. And the two shows are, let me make sure I'm getting the name right because I always want to say it wrong. All of Us Are Dead, which is about a group of students. I think it's Korean, and they're surviving in a school after a zombie apocalypse. But they're like scary zombies, like fast, like runners, like they can climb, like all that kind of stuff, like World War Z zombies. I also want to talk. I also want to mention Train to Busan, which is mentioned in All of Us Are Dead. So I'm assuming was a big inspiration for it because the zombies in it are basically the zombies from Train to Busan.
Train to Busan was scary.
Oh, and I'll mention another movie, Soul Station, however you say
Soul
it.
Station.
The prequel to Train to Busan is also really good, and the animation in it is insane. It like
I thought you didn't like that one.
No,
I did.
a
sequel to it you didn't like?
No, there was a. I don't know if it ever came out. This is what I was mad about. There was a planned American remake that I don't know if it ever came out. I think it was supposed to come out in 2023, but I don't know if it ever came out. It was
yeah,
The Last Train to New York.
Yeah, it did come out because I think that's what it was Last Train to New York.
Yeah, and
but Busan is such a emotional movie.
Yeah, and I heard people talking about New York, and I heard people saying that they changed the ending.
So that may be the one that, because I thought they did. Maybe that's what it was. It was a remake, not a sequel.
Yeah, that's the one I don't like.
Okay.
And then the other TV show I wanted to mention that I feel like is in the same vein. I feel like it's very similar to All of Us Are Dead. Is Sweet Home, and this brings back in the book. In the book episode I talked about body horror a lot. Do you know what Sweet Home's about? It's similar. I mentioned Wreck, which is kind of what brought this to the forefront of my mind. It's similar to like All of Us Are Dead or Wreck, where they're trapped in a building. So it's in Wreck, it's an apartment building, right?
I don't remember because Quarantine is like that too, and they're in an apartment building.
Yeah.
But so, I don't remember where that one's at.
Yeah, Wreck has to be in an apartment building. So Sweet Home's the same thing. They're in an apartment building. But there's already some drama even before like the virus happens. Like there's this one guy that has another guy duct taped up in his room. There's this crazy old lady who I shouldn't say old, she's not that old, but she lost her kid and she pushes around a stroller that doesn't have anything in it because she essentially is like crazy and thinks her kid is still alive. So there's things like that going on. But our main character in Sweet Home is this guy that basically has a dead end nowhere life. There's a new video game coming out, and after it comes out and he plays it, he's gonna end it all. He just wants to play that game and then he's done. And like there's even a part in like the first episode where he goes up to the roof and considers jumping off. But then a virus happens, similar to like the zombie virus, except it doesn't just make zombies. It makes all these different like mutations, all these different creatures, and it's actually based off of a graphic novel. I think it was a online graphic novel or like an online comic that I have not read. And I could be wrong. It might have been like actually published in paper first. But it follows this guy, and instead of making just like zombies, like there's one creature that has like super like tentacle like arms. There's like this one that's just like really massive and can burst through walls really easily. There's one who gets the top part of its head cut off like diagonal, like from like nose up on one side, so it cuts off the ear on like its right side and its brain is just exposed. Then its left ear grows bigger, and it's like It's like the Angels of Death from A Quiet Place, where it can hear anything going on.
Hmm.
And so there's all these different creatures that are attacking, but it's just people that were affected by the virus.
Wow.
Um,
And that's which one?
Sweet Home. So those are some of my favorites too. I really like. I think I talked about this. I don't know if I talked about it on the podcast, but I talked about it to you, and I even said The Long Walk almost felt like this. I love bottle movies where they're trapped in one location,
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of goes hand in hand with the whole I like survival horror. Um, I like when people get trapped in one location and just have to use what's around them to their advantage.
Right.
And the reason that I think, spoilers for both of these, I think the reason that Sweet Home and All of Us Are Dead are so close together in my head, and I already said that Train to Busan, I think that All of Us Are Dead was inspired by it because the zombies are basically the same. They even mentioned the movie in that show. The reason they're like so similar into my head is because in both, one of the main characters becomes like a hybrid. So one of the characters in All of Us Are Dead is like half zombie, half human, essentially. And then in Sweet Home, the main guy gets infected, but he's able to control the infection.
Hmm.
So he can like do some superhuman stuff, but he still has his humanity.
Interesting.
Back to you. I feel like I'm talking a lot on this
No,
one.
you're fine. So I'm gonna skip the
I
one
wasn't
we.
apologizing. I was just saying I was talking a lot.
I'm gonna skip the one we were gonna do next because I'm gonna talk about because you were talking about. Anyway, so two of my favorites are Cabin in the Woods
Yeah.
and Cabin Fever. Have you ever seen Cabin Fever?
What's it about? I'm not great with names a lot of
It's
times.
the one.
That's why I had to like look up All of Us Are Dead.
Yeah. It's the one where it's a group of friends and they go out to a cabin and there's something in the water and it starts infecting them. And the reason it's top one of my favorite
I
horror
haven't
movies
seen it.
is there's a scene and it still makes me squirm, but there's a scene where the girl's in the bathtub and she doesn't know she's infected and she's shaving her legs and
And the
she's
skin
shaving
comes
her
off.
skin off as she goes. Um, Cabin Fever, I love it. It's gross. It's body horror. It's disgusting.
This is a book. Did you ever read The Mustache?
No, but I have it, so
Okay.
don't spoil it for me. I bought it because you said it was good, so I have to read it, but I haven't read it yet.
I'm not. I don't really want to spoil, but I kind of already did. There's a somewhat similar scene in that book.
Cabin Fever was touted to have done to bathtubs what Psycho did to showers. Like it was. I didn't want to shave my legs for a while after I watched it because it was gross. But
It makes
that's a really good one.
You know what it made me think of whenever you were talking about it? Oculus, when she bites into the
Oh,
apple and it's a light bulb.
yes, that's awful. I love that movie too.
That movie's really good. That wasn't on my list, but
It's not
that's
on my
probably
list
up there.
either, but it would be up there. And then of course Cabin in the Woods. If you've not seen Cabin in the Woods, there's gonna be spoilers. I can't help it when I talk about this one, but
Can I interrupt you real quick?
Yeah.
Had you seen Evil Dead before you watched Cabin in the Woods?
Yes.
I feel like the experience of watching Cabin in the Woods is so much greater if you have seen Evil Dead.
Yes.
Because there's so many homages to it.
Yes. So, Cabin in the Woods is about a group of friends that are going out to stay in a cabin in the middle of the woods. They're college kids. We find out that Dana has been having an affair with her professor and he just broke up with her. So she doesn't want to go. And then I'm not going to remember everybody's names. There's Marty.
I know Marty because he's the stoner.
He's the stoner. Then you've got the jock and you've got she's not really, but she ends up being the ditzy girl. And then the egghead, they call him the egg. They end up calling him the
same thing
egghead.
with the jock. He seems like an idiot later, but we get a feel for who he is because in this early scene he recommends some heavy reading material to.
Yeah, like they're all really smart. Like
Yeah,
even
they're all college students.
right? Even the girl's not.
And I don't get the vibe that Marty is in college, like he's in school at all, but he's still a smart character.
Yeah. But so anyway, they're all going to this cabin, and so we figure out and I can't remember the girl's name, Jules. She's Dana's friend. She's really smart. But then she starts getting dumber the longer they're at there, and we actually find out they had put something in her hair dye.
Yeah, and she dyed her hair blonde, and so it's like the dumb blonde thing.
Right, and so
And we said they. You find out there's a compound underneath the cabin, and they're doing a ritual.
Yes.
Did I take what you were gonna say?
No, not yet. So the they're just kind of out there partying and stuff. Well, then they end up they're playing truth or dare, and they dare Dana. The she says dare, and then the cellar door opens.
Yeah.
And so they dare her to go down there. And so she goes down there, and they find all this weird stuff. And
Marty keeps being like, "Oh, guys, why are we doing this?"
Right.
This is stupid.
He is the stoner, but he's actually kind of the smartest one in the group. About real life stuff. But so they end up going down in the basement, and they're all messing with different things. Like
it's like when we watched Jeepers Creepers, the line where she said, "You know the dumb thing they always do in horror movies. This is it." He's basically saying that here.
Yeah. Do you really want to go in the creepy cellar?
And they're like, no one's confused by the door open except him, and they're like, it must have been a wind, and he's like, what wind? We're inside.
Yeah, like Marty's awesome. But so they're all kind of messing with different stuff. Like not Jules. Dana's reading out of an old diary. One of them has like a puzzle box. One of them is messing with a jewelry box. Jules is getting ready to put on a necklace.
The smart guy is the one with the puzzle box, right?
Yeah. And so there's all these different things going on. Well, then I keep doing that. Dana gets to a part in the book that's in Latin, and she reads it out loud, and Marty's like, don't you want, I don't know what exactly he says, but basically don't read the Latin. So anyway, we could do a whole episode on this movie, but...
And I like this part, too, because you can hear whispers. It's like, read it. And Marty goes, what? Where's that coming from?
Yeah. So anyway, and I've always said this, so in between some of this, we're seeing people in this compound that Dawson had mentioned, but we don't really know what's going on with the people in the compound. So anyway, at the end of the movie, you find out that they are doing a ritual to appease the gods.
Yes.
And that this American location is the only place left, because all the other ones around the world had failed to appease the gods, and they had to have.
They talk about how they've always been second best because Japan has a perfect track record, but Japan failed this year, so they're...
Yeah. So there's what? There's the athlete, the whore, the virgin, the fool,
the scholar.
The scholar. And the virgin's the only one that doesn't have to die.
Yeah. But if she does die, she has to be last.
Right.
The rest can die in any order.
Right. And so anyway, so we go through all the movie, and one of my favorite parts of this movie, and this is a spoiler, but Marty and Dana...
We have to do a separate episode just on this movie.
Yeah.
Because I want to say so much right now, but I can't because we could do a whole episode on it.
I know. Marty and Dana end up in this one part where you see all of the things that they could have unlocked, and there's so much potential there for more movies. And I know, like you've said, the way the movie ends, it wouldn't really make sense. But
the other thing I said too is, because of this scene, every horror movie takes place here.
No, that's true.
Like, even the puzzle box is basically the Cenobites.
Is that the guy with the laser head?
Hellraiser.
Or
the saw blades? Yeah. It's, we see a creepy clown and stuff. Like, every single horror movie...
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Huh. You're right. So we need to do a whole episode on Cabin in the Woods. That's all I'm going to say about it for now, but we could do a whole episode.
And I mentioned SCPs when we talked about books in the other episode. A lot of times people go online and they're like, oh, I want to see an SCP movie. Are there any SCP movies? And there's like fan films and things like on YouTube and stuff. But if you want to sit down and watch like an actual like studio high budget movie that is SCP, this is the closest thing you're going to get.
And I really like the scientist guys. The two guys, the two main scientist guys. They're jerks. They're perverted, but I love them.
And I think it would be really cool to edit this movie together without the scenes of the guys talking and everything. And
see, I've always thought that should have been like the big aha moment at the end.
I think it's fine though, because I don't think that's what they were going for. But I just think it'd be really cool to watch it without those scenes and see what it feels like.
Yeah.
Like to kind of experience it from the character's point of view.
Yeah. And then at the end have that aha moment where it's like, oh my gosh, this was all set up. Anyway,
But I think
we can get that.
yeah.
We got a whole episode on this movie, so I'm cutting you off. Cutting you off. So the next one on my list is Get Out, and
When are you gonna talk about Split? Because we still haven't talked about it
that's
yet.
my last one.
Okay, I wanted to make sure you hadn't accidentally skipped over it and thought you'd already talked about it.
No, it's my last one because I got a lot to say about that one. That's probably one we could do a whole episode on too.
Oh, I'm sure we will.
But excuse me, Get Out is a Jordan Peele film, and we've talked about this before.
He's our hit or miss for us.
Yes, very much so, hit or miss. But Get Out was definitely a hit. Have you seen Get Out?
Yes.
So
Get Out is the one where they transfer the brains, right?
yes.
Yes.
So basically, the premise of the movie, and Jordan Peele is African American, or I don't know what the proper term is now.
African American or black.
Okay, so he is a black. Please cut that out. He is a black director. And so his movies kind of center on blackness and black
Yes.
people, and there's I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but the whole premise of this movie is it's a white woman and she has a boyfriend who's black, and she takes him home for the weekend. But he only sees, I think the whole time he's there, he only sees one other black man, and he just doesn't act right.
Yeah, he's
and
off.
he even remembers him from his old neighborhood, but he just doesn't act right. And so the whole
And doesn't his like nose bleed at one point or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so
The other, not the main character, the other black guy's nose starts bleeding.
yeah. So we end up finding out that she basically brought him there as would you call it like an experiment? Not really an experiment, but like a test subject or like a.
It's not even that. It's all these rich old white people.
Okay, this is going to be a huge spoiler for this movie.
Yeah.
So
it's all these rich old white people want to transfer their brains into young black bodies.
Right.
And so he's not really an experiment. He's like, he is the product.
Right, there you go. I couldn't think of how to word it. But basically, she brought him there for this purpose, and it's her grandpa.
It's
or her dad.
It's kind of a take on slavery.
Yeah. So, like I said, his movies are hit or miss for me. This one was definitely a hit because
you didn't like Us.
I did not, and I think I need to watch it again. It's on my to watch list again because maybe I just missed some stuff.
Yeah.
But Get Out is definitely one of my top movies because we live in and I'm not getting into splitting hairs on races.
We live in a society.
We live in a small town with not much diversity, and I just, it kind of makes you wonder, is that how people of different races feel sometimes? Like,
well, do you remember Willie that was in my class when I was in like 5th grade?
Mm-hmm.
His family left town because they face so much racism here that his family just ended up moving out of town.
Brielle's, your sister's friend, that was the same reason they left. But I just, it's kind of a different viewpoint from what we have.
Well, and let me say this, the whole thing with Willie, I heard that secondhand. Yeah. I don't know if that's true. And from what I understood, his family moved around a lot, and but he was here for such a short time that seems believable, but also I have no idea.
Well, that happened when I was in 3rd grade. A black family moved into town, and they were here like a month, if that. Obviously, we're in a small rural town, so anyway, Get Out is definitely, I would say, top 10 of my favorite scary movies ever. And of course, there's always some comic relief. So the main guy's best friend, is our comic relief in this movie, which is great because it's such a heavy topic that they're talking about, that they're working on. So definitely up there.
Okay, so I want to talk about Fresh, but before this, I want to preface with saying, if you have not seen this movie, I'm going to give spoilers. If you have not seen this, go watch it first. You cannot have this movie spoiled. It is so much better if you watch it fresh.
Ha ha ha. Even though he already spoiled it for me because I haven't seen it.
Yeah. But it's the movie Fresh, and it's Sebastian Stan plays like the one of the main characters in it. I don't really want to say anything. I don't want to spoil it. I already spoiled it for my mom, so
Well, I'll have to watch it and we'll do an episode.
yeah. But go watch it. It's one of my favorites, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Check trigger warnings on that one, though, it sounds like.
Yeah. Okay. So these two are also in a similar vein. If you can't tell, I really like zombie stuff and infection movies. I want to talk about Cooties, and I want to talk about Little Monsters. So Cooties is about like a zombie apocalypse, but it only affects kids, and it's about this group of teachers at a school that are surviving as they're surrounded by these zombie kids. And
Would you really call them zombies?
they ate people.
Yeah, but
They
zombies,
kinda-
I think more like dead.
Yeah, they kind of rot though too,
Oh,
because
that's
that one
true.
guy pulls on that girl's hair and the whole braid comes out.
That's true.
Or I guess it's a pigtail, but you get the idea. But basically, that's the plot of the movie, and that's about all I'll say. The other one I want to talk about is Little Monsters, and not the Howie Mandel one from like the '90s or whatever. The 2016 Little Monsters. It's about this guy who basically has gone nowhere in life. Like he peaked in high school, he was in a band, and that was it. And now he smokes weed all the time, and the movie starts with him getting broken up with, so he moves in with his sister, and obviously spoilers. Um, well, his sister has a kid, and so she agrees to let him stay, but one of the stipulations is that, like, if she needs his help for something, he has to help. So he ends up driving his nephew to school, and after he gets there, he meets his nephew's teacher, and he finds her really attractive, so he volunteers to go on a school trip with them to be like a, whatever it's called.
Chaperone?
Chaperone. So the other thing is his nephew is really obsessed with this show that is kind of like Sesame Street, kind of like Mr. Rogers. There's like a main guy. He's got like a puppet sidekick, and this guy has these songs about sharing and all this stuff. And when they go to a mini golf course that I think is also a petting zoo because there's some like sheep and stuff in it. And they go there, and it's near a military installation. And again, spoilers. It's one of the best zombie movies I've seen in terms of why don't they just run away if all they do is walk? Like zombies are so slow they're not really a threat. This movie kind of deals with that. One of them escapes from the facility because someone isn't careful, and it spreads to this mini golf course, and then immediately the military like surrounds it, and it's just this one area that's affected. And it's like only the mini golf course, like not even any houses around or anything. Like they get separated from it pretty quick. But there's a bunch of like tourists and stuff here, so they all get infected. So they get trapped in like a gift shop together. Well, first the like Mr. Rogers guy, who's played by Josh Gad, who I think is hilarious, runs into the gift shop and locks them all out. And so then anyway, they all end up getting inside, and Josh Gad is like gets threatened by both the teacher and the chaperone guy. And so he ends up kind of hanging out with the group, and the kids are there and stuff, and it's basically just them trying to protect the kids from what's happening, both not wanting them to see what's happening, but also trying to protect them where they're not going to get killed. And it's just really good, and I like it.
And what is that one called?
Little Monsters.
Okay, duh. I knew that.
Have you seen the Howie Mandel Little Monsters?
A long time ago.
It was
I think I watched it with you when you were little.
Yeah, it was not my favorite.
I think you got it from Family Video.
I think it freaked me out. I did get it from Family Video, I remember that.
Do you remember that one? This is off topic, but do you remember the one that Brielle got that we had in the cartoon section? That the last
that had all the
unicorn?
cussing in it?
The last unicorn that was horrible.
I thought the last unicorn was really good.
Well, I mean, like, horrible to be in the kids section, because I think it was even rated PG-13.
I thought the one you were talking about was that one that we got, and you had us turn it off because they kept cussing in it. And the animation was not great. They were by an ocean for some reason. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
No. Anyway, were you done talking about your movie? Little Monsters.
Yeah. I don't remember. Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention was Little Monsters. Do you remember whenever his hands turn into like dogs and like eat the homework?
Yeah.
I used to have nightmares about that.
Oh. Apparently, I wasn't a good mama when it came to watching movies.
Okay, I did not say that. Uh, do you want to go to Split now?
Yes. So, back to my dude, James McAvoy.
Don't say a whole lot because we're gonna do an episode on it.
So, there's actually 3 movies in the
Yes.
series. And
And-
if you've seen Unbreakable from the 90s, I think, with Bruce Willis,
Yes.
Split is a follow-up to Unbreakable.
You do not have to watch Unbreakable to watch Split. People didn't realize they were in the same universe until after
Yes.
Split came out.
Right, the third one, right?
No. Bruce Willis is in
Split, that's right.
Split in like an end credit scene. And he
That's right.
mentions Mr. Glass.
Right. So, we've got Unbreakable, we've got Split, and we've got Glass. But I want to focus on Split.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Unbreakable is more of a superhero story, but it's a very grounded superhero story. And Glass is more of a psychological story. And I don't think we could cover Unbreakable or Glass on the podcast. Anyway,
So, Split centers on some girls that get kidnapped by a guy, and he takes them to this place, and but they realize that he has...
is it 3 girls?
Yes.
Okay.
But they realize that he has split personalities.
Yes.
And so I can't remember 34, 30.
I don't
It's
remember.
a lot.
Yeah. But let me just, before we get into this, neither of us are medical professionals. I've heard all kinds of conflicting information. I know it used to be called multiple personality, and then it was dissociative identity. I've heard people say that it's no longer classified as an actual mental illness. So I have no idea what the current stance in the medical community is on this. But at the time, I believe this was called dissociative identity disorder.
So DID.
Yes.
So, of course, James McAvoy plays the main character, the bad guy.
Was this the first movie you ever saw him in?
No, because he's an X-Men, and I had seen him as Professor X in X-Men.
I think this is the first movie I've seen him in. I don't think I watched that X-Men.
Because it would have been when he was young, or
Yes.
when Professor X was young.
I don't think I ever cared much for the X-Men movies.
So anyway, I'm trying to think. We meet Hedwig, who is a 9-year-old. There's
He's not an owl?
there's Patricia. There's... I don't remember who all there are. There's a lot of them. And like Dawson said, we'll do an episode on this movie.
This episode and the book episode are both kind of just train of thought. And so we might get things wrong. We might not get all the details, but
Right.
that's just part of this.
Right. And we thought it would be fun episodes to do. So,
And honestly,
but-
it's a lot easier on us.
yeah, I think, again, and I know, because they even mentioned in the movie that they've never, I don't know if it's this one or Glass, that they've never seen a person with this many separate identity. It may be this one. It may be his psychologist that says that, or psychiatrist.
No.
But they've never seen anybody with this many different personalities. But again, it's about girls getting kidnapped, which could really happen. So we go back to what I talked about in the book, like real life things that could happen. But for James McAvoy to be able to go from being a, I don't know how old he was, 35-year-old man,
To a 9-year-old with a lisp.
to a 9-year-old with a lisp, to a woman, to all of these different people with it. I mean, and it's quick. It's like quick change artists, like from one to the other, is so impressive to me. And I love the main girl in the movie. I love her spirit. She doesn't want to give up. She's just got that spirit to fight. And actually that's Anya Taylor-Joy who is in the Menu that we talked about.
Yep.
But I highly recommend Split. Now, I will say, like Dawson said, you do not have to watch Unbreakable.
I was not a huge fan of Glass.
I think it was a good kind of wrap up for the series, but I wasn't a fan of it. Like I feel like they had closure for what needed to have closure, but it was not nearly as good as Split.
It was another thing where I feel like it had closure, but I don't know if I feel like it earned that closure.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
For Split being what it was and being like a 15-star movie out of 5, Glass is just kind of a letdown from that.
I love the flashbacks from Glass, but then not that this detracts from it, but then I love watching special features and director's commentary, all that. I went through the Unbreakable special features one time and watched, after I'd seen Glass, every single flashback scene in Glass of Mr. Glass's childhood is deleted scenes from Unbreakable.
Well.
So the parts that I really, really liked in Glass were filmed for Unbreakable.
Huh.
Not that Glass is terrible. I just don't feel like it lived up to being the sequel to two really, really good movies.
Yeah, because obviously Unbreakable focuses on Bruce Willis's character.
Yes.
And Split is more focused on, I don't even know what you call him, the Beast.
Yeah.
James McAvoy's character. And then the third one is more focused on, obviously, Mr. Glass, who is who plays him? It's not Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes, it is.
Is it?
Isn't it?
Is it him?
I thought so.
Which is fine that they focused on him, but I feel like with the two characters we had, they could have done so much more with that third one to kind of wrap everything together.
Yeah, it's Samuel L. Jackson.
Okay.
Isn't Samuel L. Jackson the one in Kingsman, too?
Yes.
He's such a good actor.
I wish we could do Kingsman, but you said it's not horror, so you won't let me.
I'm sorry.
Kingsman is one of my favorite movies.
Have you seen American Psycho?
No, and don't tell me anything about it because I want to read the book first.
I was just going to say something about Willem Dafoe's character.
Go ahead.
When the director was directing Willem Dafoe, he did every single one of his scenes 3 ways. The first way was suspecting that a character was the killer. The second way was knowing that the character was the killer. And the third way was having no idea that the character was a killer. And then intersperse those all. Like, he did every single line, every single take 3 different ways. And then put those, like, different versions of him knowing or not knowing throughout the movie to keep you on edge and not knowing if he knows or not. And that made me think of Split with the way he switches personality so fast.
Yeah. I think he deserves all, like, awards for his acting in that movie. It was phenomenal.
Maybe for, like, April Fools or something, we could cover, like, Kingsman.
I'd be all for that.
Because I think it'd be fun to do, like, John Wick.
Yeah, but those aren't really horror.
Neither is Kingsman.
I said those aren't, as in Kingsman and John Wick.
I know.
Maybe we'll branch out a little bit for April Fool's Day. Well, that is some of our favorite movies. I can't say all of our favorite movies because we could talk for hours. We probably did. But let us know in the comments what your favorite horror movies are, and we will see you next time.
And recommend us some to watch that we did not bring up in this episode because we are 2 people, and we honestly have seen a lot of the same horror movies. So if you can help us branch out and find other movies, that would be awesome.